morning. It is Scott Cullen, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report here. It's time for Fridays with Frank. Before I bring Frank out, I do want to encourage everybody to like and subscribe. And now, Frank, how are you doing? And what's on your mind this morning?
Hey, Scott, good to see you. We had a great experience, CJ and I. We went to Miami for the Xerox meeting. It's the first one they've held in a long time. And I have to tell you, I went down there and I wasn't excited about it. I really, it was just one of those crazy feelings. I just felt that since Icon really took control of Xerox, they really haven't done anything that impressed me, quite candidly. And just from the standpoint of numbers, I think they went from 12 billion down to about 7 billion. They cleaned house at Global. And if you look at the rationale for that, it's hard to make sense, because the last year that Xerox reported, prior to Icon taking over, the $17 billion. The two companies were one then. Global was responsible for 2 billion of the 17 billion and provided 50% of the profit. So Icon takes over and goes in and destroys Global. Okay, it's something new. But that was in the back of my mind. And maybe I was being unfair to the current management. And in retrospect, now having gone to the meeting and listened to them and seeing what they're doing, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. But at any rate, we got there, and Steve Bandrowczak, Bandrowczak, I think is the correct way. Bandrowczak is the correct way to pronounce his name. He is a very, very effective presenter. And we also had the pleasure of interviewing him afterwards, and he's as straight as they come. Answered every question that we could throw at him, and he was right on. His presentation was really one about, hey, we've been around 100 years. And there were partners obviously in the audience. There were dealers, resellers, and representatives from France, from UK, and Italy, I believe, were the three countries people that I met. And he said, anybody who's been with Xerox for 40 years, please stand up. And a few got up. Anybody that's been with Xerox for 30 years and more got up. Anybody been with Xerox for 20 years and more still got up. I said, very impressive. So, what he was saying is, despite all that going on with the transition, there's still a very, very powerful element in the business, responsible for 30 billion impressions a month. There's nobody bigger in the industry at 7.1 billion. You can call them equivalent to a mega dealer now, because Fuji is making their product. And of course, what we're discounting is what they learned through the years at Xerox on how to do. For instance, we talked to several people there, and one of them was Visual Edge. Visual Edge is their largest account in the United States, which kind of surprised me. Considering all the other vendors that they do business with, they're still able to be the biggest for Xerox. So I asked why, and Dave Ramos was there. You remember Dave. And he said, we're the largest. He said, production print is a big part of it. He said their SMEs in production are outstanding. Oh, that speaks volumes. And obviously, from everything we've heard about the product, it's top shelf. So you've got people like Visual Edge stepping up. I also know that Ubio is a big time user for production print from Xerox. So at any rate, Steve went on to talk about, and what I liked about his talking about, he wasn't talking about the products. He was talking about what Xerox wants to do with its key partners. Together, he kept using that term, together. Together we can do this. Together we can make you more, essentially what his message was, together we can make you infinitely more effective and better able to service your customers by us working together. That was the message. So I think when, as I was sitting back taking my notes for the piece that I ended up writing it, and our readers will see it sometime in a few weeks, I imagine. But at any rate, he came across with the idea is, and indirectly, telling dealers diversification is the key. If you want to be successful, it's about, yes, you get the products, and then what you do with all the things after the products, and then what you do, all the other things that you do with the people that you sold the products to. So, I came away with a totally different impression than I arrived with. I was real pleased for Mike Petrenti, who is a longtime friend, who was in charge of the dealers for Xerox. And I know that Mike has worked very hard and done his usual good job with working with the dealers. And it was very obvious by the dealers that were there that he is clicking with them and things are working well. So all in all, an extremely positive experience.